Alright, my quick thoughts on this new Freddie Gibbs project, You Only Live Twice. Now, Wikipedia says that this is a studio album, which is fine by me. I wasn't sure if it was a mixtape or an album, but apparently it's an album. I really enjoy this thing. There's something that's so familiar with Freddie Gibbs' style, but at the same time so unique. And I can definitely say that there's no one in hip-hop right now that raps like Freddie Gibbs and copies his style, and or at least does it successfully. He's the only rapper that I know that really sounds like him, but there's something about his style that is just so familiar and brings me back to that whole like essence of hip hop and where it all began, and like I guess his realness, if you will, is what, I don't know, brings me back to that like that good feeling I got when I listened to hip hop back in the 90s and shit like that. So anyway, I'll just go down the track list real quick. 20 Karat Jesus is fucking incredible. The first beat is fucking amazing. The whole entire first, and then he goes off in the front part, and then the beat switch, like, the beat switch is perfect, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. It is a perfect beat switch. I haven't heard a beat like that in so fucking long. And then to hear Freddie Gibbs come over it and just tear it apart. It sounds like two different songs completely, and it's just like, holy shit, but it's compacted into one masterpiece of a song, and I love that song so much. Alexis, you guys already know how I feel about that. I love it. Crushed Glass was cool. I really think that the video helped that track, or me appreciate that track a lot more. But I gotta say before I even go on, I'm not a fan of Freddie Gibbs going over those slower kind of trappier beats, if you will, like those slow kind of tempoed bangers, like Crushed Glass and Dear Maria. Like, the thing is, they're not bad. They're not bad songs, but they're not like my go-to if I'm going to go listen to Freddie Gibbs. They're not my go-to tracks to listen to, but if I'm going to listen to a full Freddie Gibbs project, if I'm just going to sit down or whatever, or drive around, and I'm going to listen to a whole Freddie Gibbs project, I'm not going to skip over them. They're not bad tracks, but they're not my go-to tracks. Now, the tracks that I prefer from Freddie Gibbs are those banger tracks like Amnesia, which is fucking incredible. That's my favorite track off this project. I absolutely love it. Oh my god, it's just perfect. It's like the perfect kind of Freddie Gibbs track, and that beat is so sinister sounding. It's just incredible. Andrea was alright. Phone Lit, I like the transition from Andrea into Phone Lit. I thought that was awesome. And the beginning of Phone Lit was kind of wacky too. I didn't expect that kind of sound from Freddie, but at the same time, that's exactly what I was talking about. Those are more like those slower kind of banging trap sounds that I'm not really a fan of Freddie Gibbs going over, but at the same time, they're not bad. They're just not the ones that I would necessarily go to. And then Homesick, I thought, was kind of a special one, the exception into that kind of category of the slower bangers, just because it was more of a personal track. It meant a lot more, and there was a whole entire personal message behind it. And, I mean, if you've been following Freddie Gibbs, his career and his personal life over the past year, then you kind of understand it more. It hits you on a different level than that. But overall, this thing was really quick. But it's cool that Freddie Gibbs can just leave jail and then put something out like months after, and it's still the quality shit that we're used to hearing from him. But to just expand more on what I was saying about the whole slow banger thing. The thing is like when I listen to Freddie Gibbs, I put on those tracks that, with the exception of a few, but I like to put on those tracks that are like BFK and just like those straight bangers that, you know, from his mixtape era and everything, was just like so fucking like, I don't know, they're indescribable. They're so indescribable. They're so unique and just so like they get you amped the fuck up. But at the same time, though, it's either like I want to hear those bangers, like Amnesia or BFK, or I want to hear some shit like Pinata-ish, you know? So it's like I like either of those that I go to a lot, and like Pinata was my favorite album of 2014, like number one, like it was for real number one, my favorite album. And it's just, I like those kind of tracks that Freddie goes over rather than like the whole slow banger kind of things. But again, I don't dislike them. I just don't go to them like that. But there are a lot of tracks in Freddie Gibbs' category or catalog that I'll go to with that exception. But I mean, the dude has so much fucking music, man. He has so much music, and it's really, in the long run of things, it's all good. Like, he really doesn't have like bad songs, but they're just not ones that I would really go to. But anyway, I enjoyed the project. I'm very excited to see where he goes from here. I'm kind of hoping that the next move that he really makes is Bandana, just because it's like, with Shadow of a Doubt. Shadow of a Doubt was an excellent, excellent album. I love that album. But it's just like with that sound, and then we go to this sound again, and it's just like more of that kind of, that same category. It's like, I think we're just due to hear something along the lines of Pinata again, and Bandana. I really hope it's like an actual album. I hope it's like an actual thing that's happening. And alright, we're going on 6 minutes. I like the project. Listen to it. Support Freddie Gibbs. Peace.